Welcome back, guys. Today's video I'm going to give y'all tips to help y'all make that push for Division 1 rank. Please like the video and subscribe if you want to support me. Enjoy the video. These tips don't just apply to rank pushing, they could also help improve other aspects of your game. First thing I want to address, and has a big key in winning games. And Division rank games starts with your formation. You will want to identify which formation you think suits you the best. You can usually tell the kind of player you are just by observing yourself whilst playing. For example, if you're a player that likes to hit opponent on the break and suffocate the opponent with a high press, then quick counter is the one for you. If you're a player that likes to take things slow, control the game, and pick your opponent apart by neat passes, then possession is the one for you, etc. It is important that you identify your playstyle and you pick a formation that is suitable for that specific playstyle before you jump into a rank push versus ranked games. Otherwise, you will end up getting smoked by all different kinds of opponents that you may face. Make sure you pick the right players and players that are good enough for you to rank push with. Ranked games are not the time to be experimenting with players and trying new things. Otherwise, it will cost you. Remember, you are rank pushing with the main objective to win. You can't afford to lose silly points, and once again, if you want to experiment with players, then do this in less serious games, like an offline AI or friend matches. And yes, getting the right players can be hard, because you'll have to use coins and some players can't afford coins due to their circumstances. But there's definitely free players that can do the job. And trust me, it will work in your favor most of the time. When you are about to enter a ranked match, your connection and how smooth the game runs will play a big part in the outcome of the match. Never play a game that is below 4 bars of connectivity. I have fallen for this a couple times, where I would be so desperate to find an opponent that I end up proceeding with a 3-bar match. Then the match ends up being laggy and unplayable, and I end up losing points, and I have nobody to blame but myself since I chose to proceed with the match, so just be patient and wait for a good connection match to show up. Before the game starts, always have a look at your opponent's squad and their bench, and try to find any player that you think may be a liability that you can possibly take advantage of. Your opponent has a LB that likes to push up a lot, so make sure you attack that side the most, etc. The next step to identifying your opponent's habits and weaknesses is, within the first 20 to 30-ish minute of the match, try to loosely identify the play style of your opponent and the bad habits they may make during the game, for example. Unnecessary pressing, passing to pacey winger, to run down line and cross, one-touch ping-pong passes, spam crosses, excessive long-range shots, etc. And nullify them if you need help trying to find a way to nullify them. Then don't be afraid to ask in the comments section. I will sure get back to you. When I say take your chances, what I mean is, when you get a goal-scoring opportunity dawned over, complicate it by doing an irrelevant skill or a silly fake shot to try and go past the keeper and be all fancy. Just finish and job done. Because in this game, if you don't take your chances, the script will see to it that you conceded and either lose or draw, which will cost you points and promotions in the long run. To help with this, I would recommend using very clinical finishers such as Lewandowski, probably the best in my opinion, Vlahovic, Rummenigge, Van Basten, Immobile, Romario, etc. Try your best to minimize mistakes with your backline. The reason why I say this is because in a ranked game, majority of the time you are going to come up against a decent enough player that will punish you and capitalize on your mistakes any chance they get. So, don't give them that chance. If you want to loose the ball and try silly things, then you should do it further up the pitch. Away from your goal, there is really no point doing a Marseille turn at the edge of your box, just for you to concede, mate. And I had a lot of these mistakes which conceded me goals after goals, but I would say it's not all my fault, because in my area, I don't have a lot of people that plays eFootball, so most of the time I'll be playing in 1 to 2 connection bar games. And it's a recipe for disaster, but what can I do? It's hard to load into a game. You must understand that you are going to lose games whether you like it or not. It sounds so cliche, but even the best players lose, so it's up to you. Whether you want to let it eat you up and ruin your rank push, or you move past it and focus on the next game. OFC, the aim is to win as many games as possible, however. Not every game is going to be a win. Sometimes the game might have done you dirty, or your opponent might have gotten a lucky rebound that has fallen straight to their feet. But once again, these things can happen. get used to it. If you can, try to adapt some situations in the game, like it's real life, for example. In real life, I currently play at a pretty good level, and I am a center back, and sometimes in eFootball 25, I may be in a defensive situation that I may have come across in real life, and I use my knowledge from real life and try to adapt it to the game if possible. E.g., in a 1v1 situation, I may show the player wide and away from the goal, because any defender will tell you that they would rather have the player cross the ball than letting a player have a shot on goal. Record your games. I do this sometimes if I am having a bad run of games. By doing this, I am able to identify bad habits that I make, and I will always be able to rectify them afterwards. Sometimes all you need is a little break. It doesn't even need to be a long break. It could be a 15 to 20 minute break, just to gather your thoughts after a run of losses. What you don't want to do is continue playing ranked, even though you are on a losing streak, because all that would do is it would just make things worse. What I mean by this is, if a formation or certain players are working well, don't try and change things up. If you try to change things up, it will just stunt your momentum, and you will probably end up losing games because of it. So I'm going to give you my formation and lineup and tactics. So I use a 4-defender lineup, because this will help me defend from all sections and areas of the pitch. And in my lineup, I usually have a DMF. And sometimes when I feel like the opponent is getting to many scoring opportunities and shot chances, I'll add 2 DMFs in case. But for most of my games, I have 1 DMF. I also got Ambassador Neymar Jr., and he's been a godly heaven sent. And he's super good. And I mean super good. Therefore, I do recommend him. And for my attackers, I have a Martinez as my center forward and Ambassador as my right wing forward. And sometimes I will switch Ambassador to SS position or center forward, depending on how the game is going or what the opponent is playing. And yes, I have Jude Bellingham as my midfielder forward. He's really good. And I got a review on him coming soon, so if you want them reviews, like it up and subscribe. And yes, I have Vinicius Jr. playing a left middle forward position, but I do add a little twist to my lineup from time to time. He's a left middle now, but I might change him to left wing forward. But overall, this lineup helps me defend at high level, and also can help me score goals with ease. Another tip is make adjustments in tough situations or tough games. You can make adjustments whether it's big or small. If you're having trouble penetrating the defense, then try switching player's position or twist the formation. But this game I ran through this opponent and scored with ease. I know when I'm playing against a good player or bad player. But next game was a chaos, but I pulled this game out of the mud, and it went good at the end. And I found myself down 2-0 goals. I managed to bring the game to 2-1. I had hope in making a comeback in this game. But let's just move on to the next game for better understanding. So during the start of the game, I've made a lot of mistakes and cruel decisions which costed me to concede a goal.
Thank God that the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but they see where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out.
The opponent felt super good about himself because he was getting shots at the goal net with ease. And off the corner, he scores a goal. But I conceded another goal, and others might say that I should have quit the game nor forfeit the game, which I didn't. I made adjustments after adjustments and took possession after possession, which helped me make progression. Down 3, I scored my first goal of the game after getting some passes in, and then I figured out what he's doing and cooked him after. One mistake he did is getting too comfortable. I've then scored my second goal, which brought the game to 3-2. And at halftime, I knew to tie the game, or win this game, I need to make some attacking changes so I can get more scoring chances. My adjustment was adding to 2 center forwards with a left and right winger, and keeping Jude Bellingham in the center midfielder position. And after a hard-fought battle with this player, I've tied the game 3-3, in which most players and viewers say it's impossible comeback. But that's the end of the video. I really want to thank you all for watching, and please consider liking this video and subscribing for more eFootball content.